Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of January 3rd through the 9th. We're beginning with the dice and stay in bed. 29, which is all about spiritual partnership, and it's 50-50, which may also be tied to partnership or a need for balance or give and take in a situation. And Spirit says, party. It's still 50-50. And maybe that's with regard to a decision to attend a party or to host a party or what size it should be. Like, it could go either way. It's 50-50. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you got to think about it. And stay in bed is the last of those choices. With the cards, we're beginning with the Ace of Swords, all about a new beginning. Probably one that wasn't so easy getting to. The Ace of Swords tends to follow the Ten of Swords, which is about difficulty, codependency, addiction, toxic relationships, all kinds of things, betrayal, disloyalty and infidelity, and all kinds of horrible things. But once we survive, we make it through those instances, boom, fresh beginning for us that we've really earned. That's why this card is seen as a card of victory, because we learned all the lessons and we did all the work. This is also a card of truth, right? They say that the sword is used to cut through any bullshit to get through to the truth of a matter. So some sort of truth could be revealed about something this week as well. And this could be tied to all of the air energy, the transits that we'll experience this week. We already have Gemini at the true north node. We have one of Gemini's rulers, Mercury, moving into Aquarius, where it will go retrograde at the end of the month. And we also have, Venus, Gemini's other ruler, as well as the ruler of the air sign Libra, going into, I believe it's Capricorn. These are things that I'll talk about after I do the cards. If you want to stick around, you can hear me go into more detail about that. And the next card is in reverse. It is the Three of Cups. Even the Three of Cups in reverse is still a pretty positive card. And in the general sense, tends to mean that we're going to have, or we can expect to have, at least one positive reunion with some person, place, or thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be a relationship. We could be reunited with something that we lost or misplaced that means something to us. Your wallet, your keys, something sentimental that you have some sort of emotional ties to. You thought it was gone forever and you get it back this week. Or yes, it could be being reunited with a friend. You hear from somebody, they give you a call, check on you, or you're moved to reach out and they're happy to hear from you. So it's a positive reunion. The Three of Cups is not in reverse, is not just about a reunion. It's about at least one positive reunion with a person, place, or thing during the period. So again, this is a reading for a week. I'll say for the week. I'm going to stop here, I think, at this Ten of Cups. Upright. So happiness, being surrounded by friends, family, a love interest, just love in general, the energy of love, being happy, confident, not necessarily like we need anything else, at least for a moment. We're relaxed and just happy to be alive and feeling that energy of love. Eight of Wands in reverse, our overall energy is about things that are delayed, tied up, messages that you're waiting for an answer from somebody on something, or you're trying to make a decision and you're waiting for some sort of information, clarity. Two of Pentacles can definitely be about a decision, that something having to do with an earthly matter that you're trying to work out yourself, and the information you need is held up for some reason. Actually, Pentacles, it could be tied to money too. Maybe this is somebody's paycheck or like a bonus or stimulus. Somebody's something that's possibly held, attached to their finances is held up too. Or it could be news of a job or your hours or something having to do with work if it's not about a decision. Something that you ordered, that you spent money on, could be delayed, packages, and things of that nature as well. I'm going to pull 4 cards. And the first one will most be the one that, in a general sense, most directly represents us over the course of the week. And it's the Queen of Pentacles upright. Very nice. And possibly involving for us a Taurus, most specifically, or possibly a Virgo or Capricorn or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or us wanting to work on our homes or our environments to make them feel more homely. We'll get more into that in a second. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, stuff happening at our job or workplace. And it is the Knight of Pentacles, also upright, also possibly a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Somebody bringing us something, making an offer that we can't refuse. Work and finance specifically. Temperance in reverse. And lastly, love and relationship. The Magician upright. I'm hesitant to mess with the lighting or the position this week. You saw last week, I kept moving them all. It looked like a disco in here. These are the cards that my youngest daughter bought me for Christmas, if you missed my reading last week. So I've been enjoying using them, and you guys have been enjoying seeing them. I got so many messages and things saying, I love those cards. So I'm happy that you guys like them. I love them as well, and I'm excited to be using them. And I think she appreciates, being able to see me do my readings with them. Since they were a gift. All right, so since everything is in frame good enough, at least it looks like it from here for me. If there is a glare or whatever, you guys can comment and let me know what's the best position, if you think I should move them around in the future. What was I going to say? Oh, so what stuck out to me as I was sort of looking at all the cards in one picture through the camera is the Eight of Wands again in reverse, our overall energy, and what it could mean in terms of the Ace of Swords with which we started, and perhaps the Queen and or Knight of Pentacles. So another meaning that I did not mention a moment ago of the Eight of Wands in reverse is that there could be something that we're feeling guilty about. And the card shows up to remind us that there's nothing that we can do about the past. And so this may be somebody who wants to clean up things and make things pretty. But you can't cover up the past, if I'm making any sense. And what we can do instead, though, and that she would be good at, is creating change in the future and creating change in our own future behaviors. Sometimes, probably most of the time, the best thing that we can do in these kind of situations where we're feeling guilt or regret or resentment about something is to forgive ourselves. But we have this thing that's nudging at us, that's our conscious, basically, that is not it's not at peace. It wants to get our attention for a reason, so we shouldn't ignore it either. If we're having these feelings, feeling guilty about something, maybe that's why the Ace of Swords showed up too. Maybe something's not going to just come out. Maybe we are to reveal something. We are to be honest about something and to step up. And again, rather than try to cover it up and make it pretty, or put flowers around it so it doesn't stink, maybe instead we own up to it. We're honest about something, and moving forward, we do better. Now that could be happening where we're the person who's doing this, or it is somebody else in our surrounding energy who needs to be forthright toward us. They need to approach us and make an offer of honesty, forgiveness, apologies, generosity, compassion, decency toward us, because we are who was wronged. That's another possibility. It may also be tied to work, with these both being in the suit of Pentacles and the Temperance card being in the placement of work and finance in reverse. So Temperance in reverse, in that placement, says that this is not like a good time for you to go all Jerry Maguire and, you know, try to be like a lone wolf or whatever. You definitely need to come off as a team player. But the Eight of Wands in reverse can talk about arguments and things, and problems, difficulties in the workplace. So maybe you're being seen as problematic, or there's a potential for you to be seen as problematic because you want to do something one way rather than collaborate with others. Or again, that's something that's happening to you. People are not being welcoming to you in terms of part of the team. So like just watch yourself and make sure that you are seen as a contributor and a collaborator and somebody who's able to, you know, participate in partnerships and group projects and work together and really be a member of the team and have sort of like the larger interests at heart rather than self-interest at the job. Coming back to the start of the spread, the Queen of Pentacles, as I had began to mention, she is somebody who often wants to do some decorating or remodeling or feng shui and different things around her home or her environment that she considers home, or to make an environment feel more homely, more like home for her. So let's say she recently, maybe over Christmas or maybe over quarantine or something, she's staying with somebody else. She's going to try to, you know, make an area for herself, make it comfortable. You move into a female moves into a male's house. Sometimes it's real bachelor pad, and so to feel more like it's also hers, she needs to change the curtains and put some stuff in the bathroom, lotion and whatnot. You know, that it's that sort of thing. But the Queen of Pentacles shows up not specific to gender. I was just using that as an example, but for us all to suggest that we may very well this week be spending time, money, energy, efforts, you know, just all of our headspace in thinking about or actually implementing things that will make us feel more comfortable. And this is a good thing. This is very positive. You know, it's part of the self-nurturing, as long as, of course, you don't take on too much debt. And so looking at it that way, that could be while we're concerned about maybe a delay in some sort of money that we're expecting too, because, you know, I'll use the stimulus again as an example. There's $600. It's possible like you spent it already at the beginning of the week and you didn't receive it, you know? So that may be why you're like, okay, I need that. I need this money here because I've already invested into something. Moving on to the Knight of Pentacles. He's somebody who tells us to like be thankful for what we have already and to count our blessings and pay attention to the little things, take care of the little things, little small details. And then, you know, there's a saying that says the big ones will fall into place if you do. And, you know, the Knight of Pentacles, he asks us to sort of take a look at how we're handling our business, our affairs, and whether or not we are paying attention to detail. There could be something that you're missing that may result, if you pay attention to your receipts and your bank statements and all that kind of stuff, there may be something that you are missing or have missed, your paycheck, that results in some sort of money coming back to you, some sort of like a mistake in your favor. Moving on to Temperance, we talked about what it means for work, but for finances specifically, it's about balance and finding a good balance between like what's going out in terms of money and what's coming in. And this Two of Pentacles could also be about the same thing, right? Twos often about balance. And then again, this guy is literally juggling pentacles. But again, something is delayed, something's held up there. So maybe again, what's going out is more than what's coming in at the moment, because some money or something that is to come your way, whether it's through a mistake or it's through, you know, something that's held up in the mail or a direct deposit that didn't go through in your whatever, in your favor right now, your finances could be, you know, imbalanced. You could be spending more than what what's coming in. And as long as you don't, again, sink yourself in debt, that's going to be okay. Like, it shouldn't be something that you get, you know, concerned about, worried about, paranoid about. Lastly, love and relationship. Actually, all of these cards, with the exception of our overall energy of the Eight of Wands in reverse, which can be about jealousy and a need to, you know, watch out for that. All the rest of the cards are super positive for love and relationship. This is about slow and steady building and growing and deepening of a situation. This is again about nurturing yourself and those around you, your loved ones, so your relationships as a whole as well. Temperance in reverse is about relationships deepening, getting closer, like reaching a more spiritual level and some depths, really getting to know each other, like, you know, in a way that's meaningful. And then the Magician, in that placement of love and relationship, represents the planet Mercury and the sign of Gemini, and is about manifestation. And in this case, manifestation of like a relationship of which you are worthy. If you're single and you're looking, meeting the type of person soon, probably a new person who is the right person, or who is the right type of person for you, where you can have the right type of relationship, a healthy, genuine, reciprocated relationship for you. If you're already in a relationship and the Magician shows up in this placement for you, then it too, like the other cards, is about a deepening of that connection, of that relationship, and still in consideration of the Magician, to a depth, you know, that is something that you hope for, wish for, you've been praying for, focused on. I hope he gets more serious about me. I hope she gets more serious about me. And then that's happening. Or I hope that we can, you know, cease to be so superficial and we can really get to an understanding. Like that sort of thing is happening. And again, it's a mutual respect and adoration and love and reciprocated energy, matched, right? Like equally yoked is what you're getting with the Magician. This week, again, I wanted to use a deck that had a depiction of Jesus in it for the further clarifications. So I'm doing those with the Keepers of the Light Oracle. Beginning with Horus and Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. The next card is in reverse. It is the Divine Director. Actually, you know what's really cool? There's not only a depiction of Jesus in this deck, but there's a depiction of Mercury, again, who has a transit this week. And there's a depiction of Venus as well. So maybe they'll pop up. Should I shuffle again? I'll shuffle again. I don't mind. I was going to say I already shuffled in the interest of time, because I do want to go over those other issues. Not issues, all those other events. Look, there goes Venus right there. Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed, just like the Ace of Swords showed us. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. All right, so we'll throw her in there. I'll shuffle a couple times. Do you believe that? I opened right to her again. All right. Valerian and Divine Healing. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. And I can see that being tied to the Queen and Knight of Pentacles. It feels very earth-like too, with all the green. Serapis Bay and Ascension. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. I'll do one more. And it is El Moria, awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. And it is Mary Magdalene. That's our new overall energy. Teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call and don't let anything stop you. This too could be connected to a truth that needs to come out. And Dharma unfolding. Remember that you're on a path. Take one step at a time toward happiness. Lastly, Lord Shiva. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. And the next card is Mary, but it's in reverse. Love and peace. So again, I'm going to pull 4 cards. The first one, clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, most directly representing us over the course of the week. It is faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust in the good. Trust the good in yourself and others, and see the light in the world. So this is about, making yourself feel more calm, comfortable, at home. It ties in nicely with the Queen of Pentacles. And having the faith, again, that everything's going to work out just fine. Like, just because something may be delayed, some sort of money or material that you've been waiting on, you are still able to do the things that you need to do to make yourself feel more comfortable and at home, as long as you have, you maintain that positive energy and don't send yourself, too far into, don't spend more than you can afford to spend, right? Surrounding energy, clarifying the Knight of Pentacles and potential offer or some money that wants to come to us. And it is Isis, magic manifesting. So it sounds like the latter, right? Money that wants to come to us. Somebody wants to make us some sort of offer. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. So similar to this one, it's about remaining in that positive energy and like holding the intention so that we'll continue to manifest and attract, abundance, including specifically money. Speaking of money, work and finance, clarifying temperance and reverse. Holy amethyst, divine alchemy. Move beyond current challenges and focus on what you desire. So again, even if you're having a conflict with somebody down at the work, down at your work or down at the job, look past that, beyond that. Remember, it is just a job. These aren't this. You don't have to be friends with these people. It's not your family. Move beyond the challenge of the differences that you have, so that you are able to be a team player and cooperate and do whatever it is you got to do until you punch out and go home. And then the rest is your business. And that's why it's important to have a comfortable space when you leave, because that's where you find your peace and your solitude. But there, you do what you have to do. And if you have any amethyst, it may be helpful to you if you have it in form of a piece of crystal to keep it in your pocket, or if you have it in the form of jewelry, to wear that jewelry this week, particularly when you go to work. And lastly, love and relationship. And it is Mercury. Look, it's Mercury in the Magician, and it's Mercury in the clarification. Open communication. Get a weight off your chest. So this too, wanting us to reveal some sort of truth or be honest about something. Speak up with love and be heard. And why don't we just pull some additional advice cards for each archetype from there, and from these Rider-Waite cards too. So for the masculine, your card is the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So again, it could be, again, about money, concerns about money, something that you have successfully manifested and everything's going to be fine, but you could be worried about it. Don't be. Again, just do what you have to do. This is a card that shows up to tell us that work is very much a focus, and it's important that we like not slack off or settle for an easy way out or simplest solution to anything, that we really continue to give our best and do our best work. And if we do, we're likely to find ourselves with success. So it's basically what I was just saying about temperance and holy amethyst as well. This is, doubling down on that message. In love, it's a really positive omen too, and can be about increased fertility, if anybody's interested in that. Oh, wow. And for the feminine, it's the Ace of Cups, but it looks like this is possibly delayed as well. It shows up in reverse, so maybe it's tied to whatever is holding up the Eight of Wands is affecting our Ace of Cups. But of course, the Ace of Cups is a card that's all about emotional fulfillment, happiness, increase in psychic awareness and consciousness, high vibration, some sort of new spiritual or psychic gifts coming to you. It is possibly a new relationship, a reconciled relationship, like making up with somebody, reuniting with somebody that they come back from, separation, or you return to them from separation. It can be about new babies, new homes. It's just something that's whatever would make you feel happy and good all over is possibly to what it's attached. And from the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine, your card is Lady Nada, Heart Awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. It's 50-50, like the die said, or again, perhaps like this Two of Pentacles. And for the feminine, Freya, phases and cycles. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. So this is another card that sounds like it's talking about some sort of truth coming out, right? It's going to correct any sort of illusion that we had previously. We're going to let go of the false narrative and hear or know or understand the truth instead. Could be involving a water sign, maybe specifically a Scorpio, but Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and possibly be tied to this Ace of Cups. This is talking about a beginning in every ending. This is a beginning. So if something, some sort of phase or cycle, or even relationship as a whole in your life is ending, trust that the new beginning has already shown up. And we've seen two aces in this reading or spread, the Ace of Swords, with which we began, and now the Ace of Cups. Two aces in a reading can really be, it just obviously strengthens the energy of newness coming to your life, but can be about like big things like a new home and getting engaged and all that kind of stuff. So like cohabitation, like really exciting stuff. So I wish you guys all well. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and when subscribing, hit both the subscribe button and the bell button. And as far as the comment, if you want to ask me anything, I try to answer or reply, even if it's a statement that you make as opposed to a question. I try to reply to every comment that I receive. Those of you who want to stick around, again, I'm going to go over what's happening this week. I'm just picking up and opening my laptop and sort of signing on here to where I have the dates that I want to talk to you about. Okay. So on January 4th at 1:58 a.m., Jupiter will be semi-square Neptune. That's the first transit of the year, first major one. January 6th at 4:37 a.m., we'll experience the last quarter moon. Also, on January 6th at 5:27 p.m., Mars enters Taurus at 0 degrees. So we'll talk about that in a second. On January 8th at 7 a.m., Mercury enters Aquarius, also at 0 degrees. Also on January 8th at 10:41 a.m., Venus enters Capricorn. Oh, that could be what this is too. The Taurus, right? We have Mars entering Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So this could be who the Queen of Pentacles is. The Queen of Pentacles actually most directly represents the sign of Taurus because the Queen represents the fixed sign most directly in the tarot. So that would be Taurus. That could be why that showed up for us this week, perhaps. Of course, Venus is the ruler of the sign of Taurus. And then, so that's at 10:41 a.m. on the 8th, also at 0 degrees. And then lastly, finishing out our week, January 9th at 3:47 a.m., Jupiter will be sesquiquadrate the true node, which, as I mentioned at the beginning, is Gemini. So down here, explaining why this showed up, possibly. So let's get into a little bit deeper with this. I'm going to www.tarot.com now to read about Mars in Taurus, determined, steady, and goal-oriented. A transit that lasts from January 6th through March 3rd. Astrological tradition says that Mars isn't comfortable when he sets up shop in Taurus. Why? Well, Mars is the planet of go, and Taurus is the sign of take it slow. Remember I said this too was about slow and steady progress, this Knight of Pentacles. So that's what that's about. However, this doesn't mean that these two can't work together. The key to success during Mars in Taurus is having solid roots before pursuing any directions. When Mars is in Taurus, Mars in Taurus has its feet on the ground. There is no limit to how far we can go. Because Mars is about action and Taurus is about our values, what we do must align with our needs if they're going to amount to anything. It takes a great deal to move Mars when he's in this sign, but there's strength and endurance when the right door has been opened. This is a time to look at what we've recently started and use the dogged ambition of Mars in Taurus to make it happen. Warrior planet Mars is about initiative and jumping into action. Hard-headed Taurus wants to make it easy and to do things at its own pace. So Mars in Taurus could be a time when we find it more difficult to get new projects off the ground. However, if we do manage to get the ball rolling on a plan during this transit, the influence of Taurus's enduring nature will make sure that we see it all the way through. Mars is the planet of anger, a stark contrast to the calm bull who doesn't charge unless provoked. As a result, we may try to avoid confrontation, like what we have to do at work. Okay? And we're going to want to do this as much as possible when Mars is in Taurus. While it's easier to hide out than it is to show up for a showdown, resentment doesn't disappear because we've sidestepped it. It will just get pushed down until our tempers flare, making for explosive displays if we're not careful. That's definitely what we do not want at work in particular this week. Where's the money, honey? That's what we'll be asking ourselves while Mars moves through security-seeking Taurus. Our finances will come into focus, and material comfort, wanting to feel at home and comfortable, becomes more important. Mars in Taurus is an excellent opportunity for us to fight for what we value. The fighting is from Mars, the value is from Taurus. And we can pursue our financial goals with incredible steadfastness. But it won't be all work and no play when Mars is in Taurus. The bull also encourages us to slow down and to enjoy all the earthly pleasures that life has to offer. What's the point of working so hard if we don't stop to enjoy the fruits of our labor every once in a while? So that's why I was saying, I don't want you to feel like you can't do anything. Like you can't spend any money. You can. Don't worry about it. Taurus has perfected the art of indulgence. So when Mars moves through this sign, it'll be time for us to kick off our shoes and to relax for a bit. And this goes on to talk about what it means if you were born with Mars in Taurus in your natal chart. Again, I got it from www.tarot.com if you would like to read more about that. I'm moving on to Mercury in Aquarius, progressive, observant, and unconventional. January 8th through March 15th. In addition to being a brainy transit, Mercury in Aquarius is also a bit offbeat. Our thoughts will certainly be inventive, possibly to the point of being eccentric or downright weird. There's a fine line between being weird and being a genius, right? Well, I told y'all, Tesla married a cat, and he was, I don't know anybody that disputes the fact that he was a genius. But I believe he also, the cat was probably his familiar. And so, whatever. But from the outside looking in, he married a cat. Okay, so he was weird also. Anyway, this ends up being a good thing since we'll have the ability to look at life from a different angle and to gain fresh perspectives. And because Aquarius is very forward looking, we may also spend time thinking about how to make our futures more bright. Our thoughts and ideas become more progressive when Mercury sets up camp in Aquarius. This sign is known for pushing the envelope, so when it pairs up with the planet of mental activity, we'll want to consider what could be rather than what is. What shouldn't be surprised, we shouldn't be surprised rather, if we come up with a few far-fetched and wacky ideas during Mercury in Aquarius. Aquarius is about remaining neutral and not letting our feelings get in the way of the truth. So when Mercury does this trek through this sign, we'll have the opportunity to view the things that we're emotionally invested in through a more rational lens. This is so me. This is so air sign. This approach could finally help us to see people as situations for what they really are. Expect a few aha moments, courtesy of this dynamic duo. The one thing to watch out for during Mercury's time in this sign is hurting or neglecting other people's feelings. The cerebral nature of Mercury in Aquarius can overpower emotions and rationalize them away, making it difficult to feel. It's possible that we'll lose touch with our sensitive sides, so we need to do our best to handle any conversations that we have during this transit with care. And it goes on to talk about Mercury being retrograde in Aquarius, which I will read at that time when Mercury actually does go retrograde. It enters shadow on the 14th, I think it is, and goes retrograde on the 28th, off the top of my head. Moving on to our final transit that we're going to talk about this week. And that is Venus in Capricorn. Loyal, determined, trustworthy, and yeah, that's it. Loyal, determined, and trustworthy. I don't know why I thought I saw something else. This transit lasts from January 8th through February 1st. This is certainly an interesting cosmic combination. On one hand, there's Venus, which is the planet of love, acceptance, pleasure, and the arts. And on the other hand, you have earthly and Saturn-ruled Capricorn, whose focus is on commitment and work. This means that Venus in Capricorn is a time of approaching our relationships in a more mature way, and when our romances become bound by rules. When alluring Venus moves into hard-working Capricorn, she's being encouraged to take a hard stance on romance. Love must be earned when Venus is in this sign. Efforts count as much as heart if you want to receive the approval of others. relationships are built on shared goals. Remember, I was talking about the reciprocity and a willingness to get through even the most difficult of times. Venus in Capricorn rewards hard work in relationships, helping to define problems and making a commitment to solve them. We take our relationships a lot more seriously when loving Venus moves into committed Capricorn. This transit challenges us to put in the effort needed to get the love and affection that we truly desire. For those who are coupled, this is their chance to work through problems or have deep conversations about what they envision for the future. And what about those looking for love? This is their opportunity to ditch flighty flirtations in favor of long-lasting love. With Venus in Capricorn, we want our romantic affairs to go the distance. In addition to its impact on our love and relationships, Venus in Capricorn has the same serious effect on all things relating to beauty. This transit may urge us to trade in flashy pieces of clothing and edgy hairdos for a more subdued style. It's also a great time to get started on any artistic endeavors that we've been considering. Not only do we have an enhanced ability for building and creating things, but Capricorn also gives Venus the dedication needed to start projects and to see them all the way through to the finish line. Venus in Capricorn has a strong business aspect to it, and it could bring up themes of reevaluating the worth that we bring to our chosen professions. We might ask ourselves if we're getting the validation that we need from our employer, or whether or not we are climbing up the ladder of success the way that we'd hoped. There is incredible potential for reconnecting with our own inner authority and owning up to whatever it is that we need to do to take our career to the next level. That sounds like that could be tied to some sort of guilt about maybe not working as hard as we should have on something. So maybe, again, it's connected to this or this. I did skip over the Catholic feast days. There's nothing on the Jewish or Islamic calendars, but we did have, not Catholic, Christian rather, feast days. So let's go over those quickly. On the 3rd, so that's the first day for which this reading is, Sunday, is the feast day of the most holy name of Jesus. And then we're going to move on to the 6th. Wednesday the 6th is the feast of the Epiphany, also known as Little Christmas, also known as Three Kings. And let's see what somebody more official or what official word they have on this. Beginning with the Feast of the Most Holy Name. The Feast of the Holy Name of Jesus has been celebrated in Roman Catholic churches, at least at local levels, since the end of the 15th century. This celebration has been held on different dates, usually in January, because the 1st of January, 8 days after Christmas, commemorates the naming of the child Jesus as recounted in the gospel read on that day. At the end of 8 days, when he was circumcised, he was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. Medieval Catholicism and many other Christian churches to the present day therefore celebrated both events as the feast of the circumcision of Christ, usually on the 1st of January. Bernardo of Siena placed great emphasis on the holy name, which he associated with the IHS Christogram. In the Latin Rite Catholic Church, it's observed as an optional memorial on the 3rd of January by Catholics following the present general Roman calendar. Franciscans, Carmelites, and Augustines kept the feast day on the 14th of January, Dominicans on the 15th of January, and in some localities the date was the 8th of January. In others, the 31st of January. In some localities in Great Britain, on the 7th of August. The Society of Jesus, i.e. the Jesuits, celebrates the Holy Name of Jesus on the 3rd of January as the order's own titular feast. The date of the second Sunday after the Epiphany was chosen by the Carthusians, then by Spain. And this goes on and on to talk about how it's jumped all over the calendar, but it is celebrated by Episcopals, Anglicans, Catholics, Lutherans, the United Methodist Church, and whoever I had already mentioned prior. And if you'd like to, read the rest of that, I'm going to move on. But if you'd like to read the rest of that, I got it from wikipedia.org. Now I'm moving to the Encyclopedia Britannica and what they have to say about the Epiphany. The Epiphany, also called the Feast of the Epiphany, Theophany, or the Three Kings Day, it's also called Little Christmas, where I come from, is a Christian holiday commemorating the first manifestation of Jesus Christ to the Gentiles, represented by the Magi, and the manifestation of his divinity as it occurred at his baptism in the Jordan River, and at his first miracle at Cana in Galilee. Epiphany is one of the three principal and oldest festival days of the Christian Church. The other two are Easter and Christmas. Roman Catholics, Lutherans, Anglicans, and other Western churches observe the feast day on January 6th, while some Eastern Orthodox churches celebrate the Epiphany on January 19th, since their Christmas Eve falls on January 6th. We all know on this channel what the 19th is about also anyway. At least the old timers. The festival originated in the Eastern Church, where it had first included a commemoration of Christ's birth. In Rome, by the year 354, Christ's birth was being celebrated on December 25th, and later, in the 4th century, the church in Rome began celebrating the Epiphany on January 6th. In the Western Church, the festival primarily commemorates the visit by the Magi to the infant Jesus, which is seen as evidence that Christ, the Jewish Messiah, came also for the salvation of Gentiles. In the East, it primarily commemorates the baptism of Jesus and celebrates the revelation that the incarnate Christ was both fully God and fully man. In the West, the evening preceding the Epiphany is called the 12th night. Like the song, The 12 Days of Christmas. The time between December 25th and January 6th is known as the 12 Days of Christmas. Epiphany is celebrated with special pastries in many countries, and children often receive small gifts under their shoes, or in their shoes rather, in honor of the Magi's gifts to the infant Jesus. The holiday also has a number of traditions involving water as a reflection of Jesus' baptism, including the blessing of houses with holy water. I guess they won't be doing that this year, huh? People can't get the holy water and stuff. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please, again, do like, share, subscribe, comment. For subscribing, hit both the subscribe button and the bell button. And for a comment, feel free to ask me a question, because I do respond to all the comments that YouTube shows me and everything. I appreciate you watching. Namaste.